So let me talk a little bit about what I was talking about yesterday. Where I left off with a lot of these females. They don't think long term with the OnlyFans. They think, oh, right now. But what I'm trying to say is, guys will not take them seriously for a long-term relationship. Because why would I want everyone to see my woman out there like that? And how much psychological damage would that do to a child? Finding that out, their peers finding that out, like how embarrassing would that be? I couldn't imagine that. And it's gonna happen a lot. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy to see all that transpire in the next few years. The kind of backlash that's gonna happen. And what I was trying to say about the community is women they don't understand how much they rely on the community. We all rely on the community. We rely on other people doing little tasks for us as a collective. All this abundance of different things out here, different types of brands of food or iPhones or whatever whatever, man. It takes a lot of different people's time to create that type of stuff, to produce that type of stuff. And this is just people in general in our society that take what they have for granted. I mean, even I take what I have for granted, dude. Nobody's perfect, but to have zero understanding about anything that's going on around you, because you're just completely catered to like a baby. That's how it is. I think females in this society are completely catered to like a newborn baby. Every single need. So they don't live in reality. They just live in this type of weird bubble. And once their value is gone when they get older, that's when reality sets in for them. Because as soon as a girl's 18, her value is huge. She just given all this value. It's kind of like a sports athlete that was they come from nothing and they have a lot of scarcity or whatever, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're just given all this value, all this money, and then you see them blow it on stupid crap. That's kind of like females' value. So they don't think long term. They don't think, wow, maybe I should take care of myself. Because women, I don't really give a damn what red pill they say. These guys are so obsessed with, oh, women hit the wall. And then I get what they're saying when it comes to being fertile, whatever. I get that. But when they say their looks, it's as soon as they hit 30, they're just ugly. Or some guys are when they hit 25, they're ugly. No, women they might have to have enhancers, but they can be looking good even in their 50s, man, if they take care of themselves. But a lot of females, they're out here partying, doing drugs, and they're not taking care of themselves at all. They're probably doing that to cover up emotional damage. And it just seems like fun to them or whatever. But they don't think the long term how their value is going to last that long. So like that sports athlete that gets all that money just thrown at him, and he starts like making it rain at stripper clubs or whatever. He doesn't invest in anything. He just like spends it all, and then you see a lot of these athletes go bankrupt because they don't invest it in nothing. They have no financial literacy. And then they're screwed. Then they're fucked because they can't keep producing at a high level on the sports field like they were when they're young, because they get old. Their body starts breaking down. They're not as athletic or whatever. Their skills diminish, or they just lose the desire to keep going at that job. And that's how females values. It's a diminishing thing, and in the way that women are just completely what is that word I'm looking for? Putting themselves like they're an object, objectifying themselves nowadays. It is on an unbelievable scale. And the internet is just fueling this to happen. They get so much of their ego boosted, and they don't understand. They think it's just gonna last forever. Like that sports athletes just think like, oh, I'm just gonna keep making this money. I'm rich. It's just gonna keep coming in. And then when it doesn't, because they don't have any more value to produce, then they're fucked. So also what's crazy is it's weird seeing these women out here thinking that they could beat up grown men. You see them hit guys, like they start hitting guys, and then when they get hit back, they're like, oh, they just get completely annihilated. But you hit the guy first, man. And this whole thing of like, oh, you should never hit a woman, dude. That was cool. That's understandable. When guys were beating their wives, but that doesn't really happen. I'm sure it happens. Of course, that's probably always gonna happen. There's gonna be an idiot that does whatever, beats his wife. But like compared to the old days, that just doesn't happen. As like it's rare. So like, what is the guy supposed to do? She's just gonna hit him and beat on him, and he's just supposed to take it? You know, like if I was in that situation, I probably would try to restrain myself. I've already been in that situation, and I didn't hit her back. It was my ex-fiance. She hit me in multiple different times. I shouldn't have put up with it. And she didn't hit me like a girl slap. She trained in MMA, so she knew how to throw a punch. And I could have easily destroyed her, but I held myself back because I didn't want to go to jail. I knew I'd go to jail. And besides, I didn't want to hit her because I knew I didn't want to do that to her. It's like hitting a kid, man. It's like beating the hell out of a kid. Like, it just seems wrong. And then the manipulation. You know, the funny thing is, she went and told her dad that I hit her. to try to play the victim. And he was all mad at me, and then I guess maybe he came to his senses and realized that she's a liar. Anyway, that's what women do, and that's the way they're getting. I seen the toxic level of females when I was with this person, and she was Like, she had a good side. I think everyone has like a good side to them. And it was sad to see like the toxic side. I hated it. I fucking hated it, man. I seen like this really giving person, right? Really sweet giving person. And then once she put on that makeup and wanted to go out, she was just like, when she was putting that makeup on, it was like putting on a different persona. You know, I honestly, like, yeah, she looked fucking good when she had the makeup on, you know what I mean? She looked like she probably put herself up a couple, like, she probably was like maybe like a 6.5 or something like that without the makeup because she was young. You know, she was like, I don't know, when we got together, she was like 21 or something. But, when she put the makeup on, she was just like a different person. Like, her attitude was different. It was like she was a runway model. Like, she was, I just didn't like it. And it was sad to know her background, to like why she had her toxic traits. Because she had a really sad background, dude. Like, seriously, like, she had a really sad background. Because fucking boomers, dude. But I could see why she was the way she was, because the way her environment was, the way she was brought up. And I can see that. I knew it wasn't sustainable with me and her. I knew it wasn't going to last long. I knew if I stayed with that woman, she was just going to end up probably putting me in bankruptcy, probably driving me to self-delete, because she would have ended it anyway. You know, once she got her use out of me when it comes to like being that fucking comfortable blanket, or that comfortable, like, I'm basically, you're just a body pillow. You're just a fucking warm body. And you really don't mean it. There's like nothing there. There's no desire. There's no nothing. And I wanted there to be so bad, but she just didn't feel it because I was a weak bitch. You know, the leadership comes about on the men. You're like, why are women the way they are? Why are they so toxic? Well, this is the way they've always been. That's why they give them with the red A or the red flag back in the day or whatever, where they would shame them in the village if they did something wrong. Because they knew that they had to control them at some type of level. The community had to control them. And they wouldn't put up with adultery, you know, or they wouldn't put up with adultery or any of that stuff back then. Because they knew that a woman that has no boundaries, unlimited power, they knew what that could happen, and they knew that they had to control that. But men have voted in favor of feminism, which, dude, I'm kind of conflicted because I don't like slavery at all. I hate slavery and oppression, but I understand that females kind of need that. They kind of need that structure and that discipline, kind of like a child, because a lot of them are just overgrown children. They're just children in adults' bodies. So I'm kind of conflicted, but you can't just like, if without any structure or discipline or boundaries, it's like a kid that just has unlimited access to ice cream, whatever. They'll just keep eating it, and then their stomach will hurt. You have to like protect them from themselves, honestly, because then they'll go into this degeneracy because they're all about themselves. Like, what woman, how many women will go and die for their man? Like, they're not gonna go step in front of a bullet for their man to protect their man. Like, that doesn't happen. Because their love is different than a man's love for them. And that's why the Bible says they're kind of like wicked or whatever. I don't know. That's what I've heard. I forget like where. Maybe it was just something I heard from somebody. Maybe it wasn't in the Bible. I don't know, but you have to control that wickedness. Like I guess it comes from like what's her name? Eve, when she eats the forbidden fruit, and then she gets Adam to eat it. And that's where original sin comes from in that story. So that makes a lot of sense, you know what I mean? But women are just they're fed like they're easily programmed, right? They just seem like drones. Like most of them, they just seem like drones. Not all of them, but a lot of them just seem like drones. They're easily programmable, like a child. They don't have critical thinking. They can't think for themselves. If you see, like they're pretty much clones of each other. They go with whatever women are doing. So like if we go ultra conservative, you'll see all these women flocking to conservative, like dressing and how they're supposed to be. They'll go with whatever's popular, and you can see this in high school. You hear that like mean girls in high school, or boys usually attack each other physically. Well, girls do it mentally, just for entertainment. They'll, that's why people bully other people, just pretty much for insecurity reasons and entertainment. Where was I going with that? But they just go with whatever's popular. You know what I mean? So like if women are seemingly like they don't care about being promiscuous or being degenerate in any type of way as a whole, if that's acceptable by other women, then they'll do it. That's a big reason why women will never, like, they usually date down when it comes to guys' money or his social status or his career. Like, oh, he's an electrician, ew. Why do they do that? Because they care about what other people think about them, like, constantly. They care about what other people think about them, so like that's their whole life. When they go to a family get together, and maybe they don't want kids, maybe they don't want to get married, and then like their family is like shaming them, and they should just be like, fuck off, and then I won't come and hang out if that's how it's gonna be. I don't need you lecturing me. That's not what I want to do with my life. That's your life. That's what you picked. Maybe that's not what I want. But a lot of them don't do that. They want to, some of them will even like pay for a guy's company to put on a show like they have a boyfriend or something, just to shut their families up. What women don't understand is their degeneracy is destroying the community, and what's going to happen is you're going to see a lot of men exit because there's no reason for us to work hard. There's no, and you're going to see the community continuously like degenerate into a cesspool of shit. And then you're going to see these women get conquered by other men. And I think at some point, if you look at how animals are in the wild, let's say like apes or whatever, you know, they got the alpha, and that's what we're going to. He's with all the women. Well, you got the incel apes. They might delete that monkey, and then they have access to all the females. That's a possibility. What could happen when you got a huge population of men, and Jordan Peterson talks about this, that don't have access to women because women don't like them or want them. But the only reason that these women are continuously being able to live is because of these men's slavery. You're gonna see some type of revolt. It's either gonna you're gonna see women being attacked by men. They're gonna stop caring. You might see more of judges being targeted by men because they're just like, they're getting so screwed in the court system. I have already seen a story where a man just deleted his ex because the servitude and no access to her, like he's got to be a slave to her. And you're gonna see a lot of men get really frustrated, and you kind of see it, like they're gonna act out. They're either gonna go away and stop investing into the infrastructure, and then it's gonna crumble and become more degenerate of a society because the roads will be shitty. The men, you already see it. Why aren't men working? Why? How are these people surviving? Well, they're living minimally. I don't think that women understand how little it takes for a man to survive. How little we need. We could be bare bones minimalistic. We don't need a bunch of extra shit. So we can work enough to survive, just to get by, to pay our bills, and spend our time doing other shit. Instead of spending 80 hours a week trying to provide for her luxuries, we're doing our own thing. We're focusing on ourselves. We don't need to work as hard. Well, they're not picking up the slack. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to have to take off the fake eyelashes, the fake fingernails, the fake hair, not put on makeup, and they're going to have to get down and dirty, and they're going to have to keep this infrastructure moving and be a slave at some point. Like, this is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. There's no incentive for men to work hard for the vast majority. Fuck, I gotta go in. Damn it.